Okay, well, the whole reason I'm making this video is because I guess I just wanted to let people know of like my story and stuff. Because what no one, like, I mean, most people know this, but not everybody knows this about me. Because I just go around and tell people, but like, a lot of people at like my school or anywhere might not know like what goes on in my life, and I know like really nobody cares, but I just thought it'd be fun to make this video and tell people what I go through and what I have gone through in these 15 years of my life. So, I had some people never got to have a childhood. Well, I was blessed enough to have a normal childhood until 6th grade hit. No, it was about 5th grade. The end of 5th grade is when I started having signs of severe anxiety and separation anxiety. Well, when I was in 5th grade, whenever, like you have to go and take like milestones or whatever y'all take, like the end of course test, all of that stuff. Well, that's really, I don't know when it started to happen. I know it was during the end of 5th grade. And I, we didn't know anything about it. Like, we didn't, like, take any serious precautions or find out what was going on or anything, because it was just like, I'm a kid. But whenever I was taking my milestones, this is one thing I do remember. Whenever I was taking milestones, I kept having to go to the bathroom because I kept getting sick. I kept feeling sick. I wanted to be home. My mom, I was having anxiety. I was having separation anxiety. I was having all kind of anxiety. And I kept getting upset, and I was just like ready to go home. So that started in 5th grade, and then we were going on this. We were supposed to go on this trip to go visit my middle school for my 6th grade year, and it was like a 5th grade trip thing. Well, I lied, and my mom was gonna let my mom. I already had the thing and everything. It was signed and everything, saying I was allowed to go. Well, I lied to my teacher and said, "Oh, well, I have some work to do. I could just," or I said, "No, I don't want to go. I'll just stay and do study hall." Well, my teacher was like, "McKenna, I know that you're like having anxiety." I guess she was, cause like, I mean, I guess my parents like knew I was having anxiety and they told me that I was having anxiety, but they didn't like think like, cause everybody has anxiety, but they didn't know that mine was as bad as it was. Well, my teacher was like, "Come on, McKenna, like, I'll sit right beside you riding the bus over there." And it was not very far. I don't think it was like a good bit. It was maybe like 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. No, yeah, about that. Well, I sat with her on the bus because I was anxious, and I was like, okay. So then we go to the school and everything was fine. And then I left 5th grade, left my elementary school, went off to middle school. Well, this happened at like the beginning of middle school, and I remember the first day of my 6th grade year. Or was that my 5th grade year? I don't know. But maybe I don't remember my 6th grade year, but about like August, it was in August, and like we started school like the beginning of August. So sometime in August, and I think it was about to be, or maybe it was October. It was either like the end of August or it was in October. But I like in the mornings I would be in the bathroom like sick to my stomach, like didn't know what to do, and I would kept telling my mom. My mom would like, "You know, come in the bathroom." And I'd be like, "Mom, I can't go to school. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I'm sick. I'm having anxiety." Well, I didn't really ever say it was anxiety because we didn't go to the doctor and say like, "Hey, she's going through all this." Well, I don't remember what year I had a therapist. I think it was my 6th grade year that my mom started taking me to the therapist that she had, psychologist. I can't remember which one it was, but he was in Clayton County. Well, if my mom would try to take me to school, I would sit there and cry and scream. And even like the times that I actually would go to school, because I knew I couldn't miss any more school, I would go to school and there's a nurse, and like the teachers would have to unlock the bathroom for you, which was so stupid. So like I couldn't go to the bathroom every time like I felt sick. So we had to go all the way up to the nurse's office and ask to go to the bathroom. Well, I would do that, and before I went to school, I would take this stuff to make my stomach feel better. And so like, every time I needed to go to the bathroom, I would go up to the nurse's office and feel sick, da 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 da, and then I would go back to class. Well, it was like really hard during my 6th grade year, and then it just got to the point where like I said before, I couldn't go to school. My mom would take me to the school, and I would just freak out, have panic attacks, just have super bad anxiety. And my mom didn't, that's when my mom started to think, okay, maybe there's something. And my anxiety is a hereditary thing because my great grandmother has it and my mom has it, and it didn't pop up until I was in 6th grade. But then my mom decided to take me out of school in like October, and I was doing hospital homebound, which is where if I have I think we went to the doctor and they told us, I was having super bad anxiety, and my 6th grade year is when they started putting me on medication, and so they did hospital homebound, and it was like where one of the teachers from the school would come to my house, and we would sit down at it's my dining room table. We would sit there, and she would tell me how to do everything, and I would do it, and they would leave me with stuff to do, and I would do it. The next time they came out, I'd send that home with them, and they would give me new stuff, and they would tell me how to do it and all that stuff. Well, I had that, and then I started going to this place called Southern Crescent, which is in Atlanta, or Stockbridge, and I would go there every day from and I remember the first time I ever went to, it was just a shadow, which is where you go and you look around and see how it would be if I started going there. And I remember I told my mom, I said, I'm not doing it. And then there was a lady that came, and I got mad at her because she was trying to make me to do it, go in there and shadow. And then I finally ended up doing it, and I liked it. And I did that. I don't even know how long I did that, but I guess it was until they felt like I could leave. And really, we just went there, and we would do games, we would color, we would watch movies, we would go outside and play basketball, we would go in the gym and play football and basketball. We would do fun stuff. Well, I went every single day, and then it got to the point where they're like, okay, she's getting a little better, and they have a outpatient, which is where you stay at home at nights, and then you go in the morning to I think it was 8 to 3, 4:30, something like that. And that's what I did. And there was an inpatient thing, but since we knew that I had severe anxiety, separation anxiety against my mom, which means that I did not want to leave my mom. I didn't want to be away from her. If she was with me, I was fine. But if I wasn't with her, I would freak out, have panic attacks, do all this crazy stuff. And I remember that they said you're getting better, and my mom put me in outpatient because she knew that she could not put me through inpatient, and she actually went there when she was a kid and did inpatient, which I couldn't imagine ever doing. But I went every day, and then they were like, okay, well, she's getting better, so I started going. It was 3 days a week, and I could pick the days, and I think it was 8 to 4:30 was the same time, or 9 to 3:30, 9 to 4:30 or something, and they would give me a little sticker to put on my shirt saying I was there. I was there for, I only went 3 days a week. And seeing all the people there and understanding what they're there for, I had a best friend that was there, and she was there because she always threatened to kill her family because there was something wrong with her. She did inpatient. There was a boy that me and my best friend liked, and we were like, oh, he's cute. I forgot what his name was, and he was a white boy, but my best friend was black. And I remember me and her both liked him, and he was in a group home, and he would run away and do all crazy stuff. So he came, and then they were like, okay, we're letting you go because you've done what you needed to do. You're okay, now you can go back to your group home. He went back to his group home and then came back a couple, either a couple days or a week later. And knowing what some of the people were there for, made me think I'm lucky to just have anxiety and not what the people were going through. And I remember watching there'll be the ladies at the counter. They'd be like, come here, so and so, come here, so and so, and they would give them their medicine because they had to take medicine. Well, I took my medicine at home, and then I did hospital homebound until 7th grade. When 7th grade hit, I didn't go back to school. My mom didn't think I was ready. She thought it would be better if I just did homeschool. So I did K-12 for my 7th grade year. And I really didn't even learn anything because I just, like, really what had happened is that I wouldn't do my work, so my mom had to do it for me. And I wouldn't do anything. I was too lazy to get up at 8 o'clock and do my work. I wasn't getting anything done. I was at home with my mom all the time. I was, everything. Crazy. Well, then I remember they put me on this medicine called Adderall. And I think it was supposed to help my anxiety or help me calm down. I forgot what it was for. But I remember I would be up at 4 a.m. and we had 2 cats at the time. So I would be cleaning their litter box at 4 a.m. I would be mopping the floors, sweeping, cleaning up every room in the house at 4 a.m. because I took that. Well, then they took me off of it. And then I started taking what is called Sertraline, but we call it Zoloft. It's Zoloft, but the actual name of it is Sertraline. Just like, there's all types of medicine that they say, like, oh, the real name is Sertraline, but we call it Zoloft, which everybody, like, my doctors call it Zoloft everything. And then 8th grade hit, and it was time to go back to school. And I remember the first day of school, I was scared out of my mind. Well, I went and did 8th grade. Everything was fine. I was still taking my medicine. Everything was fine. And then in November of 2016, my grandma had moved to, she had moved away. And we would go and visit her, like, sometimes. And we would stay the night with her. Well, then we decided to move down where she lives. And so we moved down here where I live now. And that was November 2016. And then my mom, she didn't want to put me, like, I guess she wanted to wait since it was November. She was like, okay, well, we're just going to wait to put you in the new school, the new middle school in 2017, January 2017. So after Christmas break, I went to the new school. And I remember the first day I walked in school, I had on this cute dress and I had on white Converse like everybody was wearing in 2017, 2016. And I was looking, I was looking really cute. Well, I walked into my class and there was a girl I knew there. And I was texting her before I started going there. I was like, hey, I'm coming to your school. I hope we can be friends again and all this stuff. And me and her were like friends, I guess you could say. Me and her are not friends now. Well, when I walked into my classroom, some girl was like, oh my God, why is she wearing a dress? And I was thinking, does nobody in the school wear dresses? Well, let me just tell you, that school was the worst school literally I've ever been to. And the place I lived before, I lived there for 13 years. So transitioning was weird because I've always wanted to move. And I would watch House Hunters, I'm like, man, I wish we could move. And then we finally moved. And that school was horrible. The principal screamed and yelled at me, told me that every time I would come up there and get in trouble for telling on somebody or somebody was telling on me, it was all my fault. No, nothing bad would happen before I came. She was screaming at me, and then my mom came in and she acted like everything was fine. She was like, oh, but I love you, girl. And I got suspended. I was put in, like, in-school suspension. I was suspended. It was, like, everything was bad in 8th grade at the new school. And I made a best friend who I'm still best friends with now, and she got mad at me one time, and I got put in school suspension because me and her got in an argument, and I was having anxiety, so I went up to the nurse's office and stayed there until we left school, which it was like the end of the day, so it wasn't really that long. Well, I got her, the girl that she was with that was talking crap about me, all 3 of us got in school suspension, and it was like, actually, I don't know if that was the time that I got in school suspension. I don't remember. But my 8th grade year at that school was completely horrible, terrible, everything that you can think of. And then it came to my 9th grade year. Or no, this is still my 8th grade year. So around April 2017, I think it was April 2017. April 2017, my mom was having arm problems, and, she just thought, like, I'm having, because she's always on her phone, always playing games and stuff. She was just like, oh, it's just because I've been playing on my phone so much. So then she stopped playing on her phone, and it was still hurting. Well, she goes to the doctor, and she got diagnosed with bone cancer in like, I don't know, I can't show you, but like in a good portion of her right arm. And, her right arm is her dominant arm. Well, they were like, okay, well, she's going to have surgery. So in April of 2017, she had to go to the hospital, and I couldn't stay with her because I was not allowed to stay there, and I had school. So I was freaking out, having panic attacks, and then she was supposed to come home Wednesday, and they were like, my grandparents were like, McKenna, we kind of don't want you to go up there and see your mom the way she is, and I was like, I don't care, I want to go see my mom. So I went and saw my mom, and I was like, started crying because seeing my mom like that was horrible. And then it was on Tuesday, and she was supposed to come home. I kept wanting her to like lie and say that her pain was like a 3 so she could come home. Well, she would always tell them the truth, and I'm like, I don't want her to go home in pain. So she kept telling them the truth, and she was supposed to come home, I think, Wednesday, and I was super excited, and then they were like, no, she's supposed to come home. She's supposed to come home. No, they said no because, it's the day after. So, oh wait, no, she was supposed to come home Thursday. So Wednesday we went to Dollar General. I made her a big card. Was like, welcome home, mom. And then Thursday they were telling my grandparents were like, well, I don't know if she's coming home today. I was like, yeah, she is. And then we had a math milestone that day. I remember, I'm pretty sure I bombed it because I was in there freaking out, having anxiety. I was like, I need to go to the nurse's office and ask them to call my grandparents to see if my mom's coming home. They call my grandparents, and the nurse says, I don't want to tell you what they said. And I said, she's not coming home, is she? She said, no. I started bawling, crying, and somebody had to come pick me up. And it was Thursday, so then the next day I got checked out, and the next day was Friday, not Thursday. Next day was Friday, so I got checked out from school, and I got my bags packed and was like, okay, I can stay with my mom for the weekend. Well, then we did that, and I don't remember if this was the time that I didn't have school Monday, and so she went home Monday or something like that. But every day, like of that week, I would get checked out to go to the hospital and see her, and that was just a big mess because I was missing school. Well, then, like, I don't remember what month it was, but her arm kept hurting, and they looked. She kept going to the doctor. She kept having all these abscesses, big like pimples popping up on her incision, and they had to pop them and drain them out because they were, I forgot what they were called, but they were really bad on her arm. And then they were like, okay, well, we have to take this bone. It was a cadaver bone. They took out all the bone that was infected and put in a cadaver bone, which is a dead person's bone. And they did that. And then they said that it was okay. And then she kept getting infections, and everything was bad. So she kept having infections. She kept hurting, and then they kept having to take out, put new stuff in. She's had 6 surgeries to this day. Her last surgery, she had the same surgeon, and there's this thing in your arm called the scapula, I think. Well, that's what lets you raise your arm, do whatever with your arm, and it's mainly, to raise your arm to do all this stuff. Well, the surgeon that she had before, in one of her surgeries, they lost the scapula, and I guess he removed it, and it's like somewhere around in her arm, and now my mom can never raise her arm like this again. She can only literally do like this and go out. Like, she can never raise it like this. She has to use her hand to crawl up your back to give you a second hand hug, and it's terrible. And all those 6 surgeries, has traumatized me because I see my mom. I've been in the hospital staying with her, and in my 9th grade year when I went off to high school, she was having surgeries and was in the hospital. I was having anxiety, freaking out. My classes wanted to go home, and then my mom, after one of her surgeries, she knew she was getting another one, so my mom took me out of school and did homeschool, and it was homeschool. It was homeschool through my school. It was called, we did Edgenuity, but it was for my school that I went to, and we did that. And she was having surgeries and stuff, and I kept getting behind on Edgenuity because in September we would go to Florida, and then May we had to go to May 2018 we had to go to my brother's graduation. Mom just had a surgery. I was with her in the hospital all the time, and her last surgery, she got a different surgeon because that surgeon just kept messing up. And she has metal in her arm now. She doesn't have another cadaver bone. And her arm's still hurting. And since she's had so many surgeries, one of her daughters told her that she will be in pain the rest of her life. And she's getting a test to see if she's allergic to metal, and that's why her arm's still hurting, because they said it's supposed to be to a year. But her case is so special, it's going to take longer than a year for her to completely heal. And, you know, that's been traumatizing to my anxiety for anybody to see their mother in a situation like that and knowing that she's in terrible pain. Like, I cried, I would have anxiety, I would freak out. And it was the worst thing ever. In her last surgery, yeah, she got a different surgeon. And I stayed at the hospital with her. And he did good. And he's the one that told her that they lost the scapula and that she could never move her arm up anymore. And that's really the story that went down with my mom. And then, I don't remember what year it was, but whenever I was a little kid, I forgot this. Whenever I was a little kid, my great-grandmother got breast cancer and she survived it. Everything's fine. She's going on like almost 6 years. Or I think she just hit 5 years a couple months ago or something. She'll be six years this year, I think. Or I think she just turned 5 years. I don't know. Of being in remission from it. And I don't know if it was my grandmother had been having some problems for like a year, and they couldn't tell her what was wrong with it. She was in the hospital. She was always sick. Well, then she went to the doctor, or finally like a year later, they found out that she had an autoimmune disease, and I forgot what it's called, and it has a ribbon actually for it. So all three of my great-grandmother, my grandmother, and my mom have all three have a ribbon. My great-grandmother had breast cancer, she has a pink ribbon. My mom had bone cancer, which is a yellow ribbon. And my grandmother has an autoimmune disease, which is red. A red ribbon. And my grandmother swelled up huge. She was going through it all. And, you know, that was, like, hard on me because, you know, it's my grandmother going through pain. My mom's have her arm messed up. And, you know, my anxiety, like I've been saying, it's bad. Like, I have to take medicine every day for it because if I don't take my medicine at night, the next day I'll be emotional, and I haven't really had a panic attack lately. In February, my parents went off, and I still have like some separation anxiety, and I have not spent the night off with any family members, friends, or anything since 6th grade. I've tried and have never succeeded. Well, in February 14th, or around that time, my mom wanted to take my dad out on a trip for Valentine's Day. And my anxiety was like, no, you're not doing that. I'm not letting you do this. And they actually had an opportunity a little while ago to go to Las Vegas with my dad's boss to a car show. And I said, I'll go. I'll just stay at the hotel. My mom's like, we're not doing that. And then they ended up not going because of me. And, you know, that hurt me because I felt like I was the reason they stayed behind. And Mom was like, well, yeah, da-da-da-da. And she, you know, my mom would make up excuses, be like, that's not the reason why. It's not, you're part of it, but then again, da-da-da-da-da. But in February, I was like, that's not happening. Y'all can't do that. But I was like, I can't stop them. I already stopped them from Las Vegas. I can't stop them from this. So they went, and it was one night. And we went, my grandma took me to the nail place, and I got my feet done, and I got my eyebrows waxed. When I was getting my eyebrows waxed, I kept thinking about how I was staying the night away from my mom. And I almost had a panic attack in that chair, getting my eyebrows waxed. But then I told myself, I said, God, please take all my anxiety, my worries, everything away. And another thing is that I'm very worrisome. Like, if my dad was in the car the other day, and I was like, man, what if it blows up? Like, I worry about everybody, everything. I worry if my brother's not responding, if my mom's not responding, if my dad's not responding, if nobody's responding to my text messages, I'm like, oh, God, something bad happened to them. They got kidnapped, something. I just worry that much. And I have just, like, bad worryism. That's what I'll call it. But ever since, like, I don't know how long. I've never been able to, like, I could stay up for, like, 48 hours. I have done that once. If I don't take, like, melatonin or take the medicine I'm supposed to take to help me sleep. But with all of my anxiety and stuff, I still haven't spent the night off. I'm still taking medicine, and my mom takes medicine for it too. And I'll probably be on medicine for the rest of my life for my anxiety because of how bad it is. But the one thing that I hate what people say is people will say, oh, I have anxiety. Everyone has anxiety. Everyone does have anxiety, but nobody has it like me. Yeah, you know, like, a lot of people in this world have it like me. They have to take the same exact medicine. They go through the same exact thing. But I have not met somebody who has gone through what I have gone through. I've not met anyone. And it'll be amazing to meet someone who takes the same medicine as me, who has anxiety, who's never spent the night off, someone who could understand what I go through. But I have not been able to find anybody. And it's crazy because this world, like, everybody's like, oh yeah, everyone has anxiety. Girl, you're not special because of that. I take medicine every day, and when people say that, it makes me want to slap them across the face, because everyone has anxiety regularly. Like, you know, people have anxiety over stuff, and they have it like real time, like just, you know, regular old anxiety. Like, everybody has anxiety, which is true, but no one has it like I do. Like, everybody has anxiety. Not everyone has it like I do. Let me not say that not everybody, no one has it like me. Not everybody has what I go through and what medicine I take. A lot of people just have it regular and have a normal life. Well, I just didn't get the luxury of having that. But I don't want to say that it makes me who I am, because sometimes I feel like my anxiety stops me from doing stuff, and I'm thankful for it, because I'm like, well, maybe I don't need to be doing that. Maybe anxiety is a good thing. But sometimes it can't be, like stopping me from spending the night with a family member or going somewhere with a family member, exciting overnight, and I can't do that. Like, that hurts me. And knowing that, like, oh yeah, my cousins are out there going to Wolf Lodge or going off to the Myrtle Beach with my grandma and having a blast while I'm stuck at home with my mom 24 hours a day doing schoolwork, because I decided not to go because of my anxiety. It has affected me so tremendously that it's kind of ridiculous. And I guess I just wanted to post or make a video because no one I know of around me knows what I go through and have had all of this crazy stuff happen to them. But I mean, I'm not doing this for sympathy. I'm just doing it because a lot of people don't know. And if they, like, I've been made fun of since I was probably, I don't ever remember in elementary school. I don't really care. And I've had the same thing over and over. The three things that people have said about me over and over, it's the only three things that anybody can think of, is that I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I have no butt. But all three of those don't matter to me, because I'm going on a diet not because they told me to, but because I want to, because I do not like the way I look. I feel like I can look pretty sometimes, and I feel like I can't sometimes. And I know I don't have a butt, but I can do some things. Like, I have a bigger butt than a lot of people. Let's just say it like that. And it's just, like, ridiculous for people to do that. And people don't know. Like, I'll be like, oh, I'm not I say all the time I'm not judgmental, but then I'll judge people. Like, my mom read me this thing, and it was talking about how we judge people of the same stuff that we do, but when someone else does it, we judge them on it. And so, like, if I judge somebody because they're fat, they have the same thing or they're fat just like I am. Why would I judge somebody who has the same thing as I am? And I need to learn how to stop that, and I am trying to change myself, because I do not like the way myself is right now. And I guess, I mean, I don't, no one's gonna watch this, but I guess it's good to post this because people can know my story, and I guess it's just good for people to know. And I don't really know what to say, but I don't know if I'm gonna start a YouTube channel and, like, post about my story and post about my anxiety. But before I end this, I'm just gonna show y'all what medicine I take before I end this. This is what I was talking about. I can't see that. Nope, wrong way. This is Zoloft, which is certainly, and I take one tablet by mouth at bedtime, and they're about this big. They're blue pills, and I take 50 milligrams. And this is what I have to take every day at every night. And then this one is Trazodone, which is what I take to help me sleep, and I take a half to one tablet by mouth at bedtime. I take one whole, and that helps me fall asleep faster, just like melatonin. My melatonin, like, wore out, so I was never getting tired, so we switched to this. And then I take something called hydroxine, and there's another bottle back there that's white pills, which I guess they come in, like, different kind of pills, but they're also the same. I take 25 milligrams, and I take a half to one tablet by mouth twice a day as needed. So, like, even if I'm not having anxiety, I take these at night, with my stuff, I guess. I don't really know why. I should probably take them in the morning, but I'll forget. But that's really the 3 medicines I take every day. I put these in my medicine bottle. I meant my medicine thing for Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And it just has the Zoloft, the Trazodone, and the Hydroxine in there. And this is, I take 3 pills a day. And all of them are to help my anxiety. So that's Trazodone. That's supposed to help me sleep. And I guess this is my story in my life for the last 15 years.